recreate them in your own image. And we want you to learn the key to getting along with the man in your life. We have, and we are giving you today, this silver key that will help you. And that is to know, to accept, and to celebrate the differences between men and women. Now let's look at these three words. First of all, we need to know the differences. And sometimes we're a little fuzzy on this kind of knowledge. Sometimes we do have it. But it has ceased to be passed down from mother to daughter in our culture. It used to be very common sense knowledge that was available to women. But we have lost this in our unisex society, and we need to know these differences. And that's one of the reasons that this is such an important key. Then we need to accept the differences. After we know them intellectually, we must accept that that's the way our men are. They're not going to change. They're not going to turn into women in slacks. They are going to be who they are. Now, a lot of women get this far. They know, they accept to a certain extent, and they get together and they have a cup of coffee with their girlfriend and they say, "Oh, you wouldn't believe what that man of mine did. Oh my goodness, it was so foolish. If he had just listened to me, it would have been done the right way." Okay, we have some knowledge, we have some acceptance, but we haven't gone on to the third part of this key. And that is to celebrate. Dear ladies, we need to begin to celebrate the differences between men and women, not just endure them, not just hope that someday they will get a clue and agree with us or become just like us, but we need to celebrate these wonderful differences between men and women. And if you can do all three, this will be a key that will open the door in your relationships that may have been closed, even locked and barred, and have stymied you up to this point. So let's look at some of these wonderful differences between men and women. First of all, our men are visual. We women, on the other hand, are verbal. Very, very verbal. Women love to talk, don't we? Now, that women are very verbal. Men are visual. It also has to do with our physical being, with the brain science that they have discovered. Our brains are actually different. The verbal portion of a woman's brain is much more well-developed than a man. So, this is why we women love to talk, we love to communicate, and communication has, I believe, become a cultural idol. We think that if we just talk long enough and get them to talk, all our problems will be solved. Obviously, communication is important, but it is not the be-all and end-all that we are being constantly told in our culture. And that is because we are so different. More about this later, but the average man is not verbal. Not because he's trying to thwart you, not because he's trying to drive you crazy, but because his brain is different. He cannot talk like you can. He cannot be that verbal woman. His brain is designed differently than a woman. He is hardwired differently. In our brain, there are two hemispheres for all of us. In the woman, the two hemispheres can talk to each other very readily. One, the left brain, contains our logic. The right brain contains our emotion. And we are able to access our emotions very readily and verbalize them. You get two women together over a cup of coffee, and they are going to be sharing their emotions. You get two men together, and what do they share? Their golf score, the Lakers point spread. It's surfacey. What happened at work? They're not going to be sharing. Our men are visual, and they need to see our love. We want to tell them our love, but they need to see it. The visual is so important to the man. And the way you reach a man is through the eye gate. Through food, through sex, through the house. It's often so important to a man what the house looks like. And through your appearance. That visual man needs to see effort in these basic categories if he is going to perceive you as loving him. It doesn't matter how much you verbalize it, how many gushy Valentine's cards you send him, anniversary cards. He wants to see your love by you demonstrating in these areas. Ladies, our appearance is so important to a man. So we need to work on that. And it's so easy once the kids start coming to lose that connection with our appearance and to let our appearance go. Now, in a group like we have today, you have obviously looked in the mirror, you fixed yourself up, you are a delightful looking bunch of women. However, what is the last picture your husband takes with him as he goes out the door to work? Is it a torn, ripped t-shirt? Is it bedhead? Is it no makeup? Is it the bathrobe with congealed baby spit on it? Ew! We need to be very careful what we look like, because that visual man takes this picture with him and he compares it all day long, doesn't he? What does he compare it with? Those put-together women at work, in the mall, on the street, who have makeup on, heels on, nicely dressed. And then he pulls out the picture of you. That visual man needs to see that you care about him in these different areas. The house is fixed up. There's food on the table when he comes home. He